When I woke up this morning, I immediately knew something was off. So the first thing I did was check my blood sugar levels, and it was off. My sugar was 3.2, crashing straight down. I messed up. It's my fault. Last night, well, about 3 hours ago, my sugar was 16 and I did 3 units correction, and clearly that was too much because I didn't have any food in my belly. Like I hadn't eaten for about maybe 8 hours or so, and my sugar dropped. Hence, I'm sitting here in front of you guys with a disgusting bowl of porridge. I was supposed to film a video today where we talk about the symptoms of having a low and how that can look like. I've had very general signs and I've had signs that are very, very unusual and that nobody spoke about. Even my doctors didn't warn me about. So I thought, okay, let's make a video about the symptoms of having lows and what that can look like. And I'm having a low right now, so excuse me, but I will be eating throughout this video because this is life, you know? I'm type 1 diabetic and I'm having a sugar crash and life doesn't stop and I have to carry on. So excuse me for my bad table manners, but I wanted to talk about a very, very unusual sign that I have started to experience in the last 3 months when having a sugar crash. And again, this is something that nobody told me is possible, will happen. I had no warning and I had no idea that this was even a thing. So I actually only realized what was happening to me last week. And if you can relate to this, then I hope this will help you make more sense of the situation, because I generally feel so alone when it comes to this, because when I explain this to people, unless you've experienced it yourself, it sounds nuts. It sounds crazy. Here's the story. Here's what happened to me last week. I was trying to rewatch the whole X-Men movies because I was pretty sure I missed a bunch of them. So we were like, let's have movie night, watch X-Men, get some junk food and have a good night. So I was like, yay, super fantastic. That is my kind of evening. The evening starts off well. I'm in bed, the movie's on, and I start to feel a bit off again. I'm getting really hot, very clammy, very sweaty, and I'm kind of like getting a bit tired, and it's 7 o'clock. I'm like, I get tired at 10, I don't get tired at 7. So I check my blood sugar levels and it's 3.2. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll order some food now. So I go in Deliveroo, I pick what I want to eat. I order my burger, chips, and I think I got some sort of dessert from Popeyes. And it says that my order is supposed to be coming in about 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, fantastic. That's perfect timing. I think I can hold on until my food arrives. It's only half an hour away. I don't need to eat anything right now. So I thought, you know, my mistake. My food arrives about 20 minutes later. I feel the same as I did before. So I'm a bit tired, a bit sleepy, sweating more than I should. But apart from that, I'm holding on, I'm surviving. I unpack my food, I lay it in front of me, and I start to eat it. And then things took a turn like that. And when I say like that, it was so quick. I did not expect it. I'm watching the movie. I've got my burger in my hand. I think at this point, I've taken maybe a bite and a half out of it. And then I stop. But I don't know why I stop. My partner tells me this after. So what I'm telling you guys now is what I found out afterwards, because this I didn't know. This is the blanks that he filled in for me. So I'm sitting there with my burger, one and a half bites in, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at the movie, and I'm looking at him, and back at the movie, and I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand what's happening. I'm trying to eat, but my body is not bringing my burger to my face. Like, I'm like, I'm trying. I'm looking at this burger and I'm like, I'm trying to eat. And my body is just not moving. It's not responding. What I think is happening here is not happening here. I haven't eaten anything else in front of me. Haven't touched my chips. Haven't drunk my drink. At this point, my food was cold. And I also finished my food very, very quickly. So he's like, is everything okay? This is how I'm turning around, like this. Some burger here. And I turn around like this. Like super slow and super weird. And I start to freak him out. So he's like, okay, something's up. So he grabs my phone and he tests my blood sugar. And he's like, oh, okay. I think at that point it's gone to 2.8 or 2.6, something like that. So he's like, Sarah, just eat. He's waiting for me to respond to him, because he's asking me, he's like, how's your food? Is everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. and nothing is coming out of my mouth once again. So then he starts to feed me the burger and some chips, and he's physically having to shove these things in my mouth. And luckily at this point I'm chewing, but then there comes a point where I stop chewing. So like I'm not letting him put any more food in my mouth. I'm like, nope, nope. And the reason for that, and you're gonna laugh when you hear this, whilst this is happening in reality, in my mind, I think I am Magneto. And I think that what's happening now has already happened and is just a replay of what's about to happen. My mind is telling me that I am going to jump out of the window and myself. My brain is telling me that I know how I'm going to, and I am trying with every ounce in my being to stop the future from happening. If that's kind of me, it's very, very confusing. Even when I explain it now, I'm like, that makes no freaking sense. At this point, I'm living in cuckoo land. My partner is trying to get my sugars up by trying to feed me, and I'm refusing the food. I'm hearing these voices in my head that are telling me what to do, and I'm hallucinating. I didn't know what to call it. I've never experienced, well, I have experienced hallucinations from a sugar crash before, but I didn't know what they were until 3 days later. I was thinking about a scenario of when people are out at sea and they imagine ships, or they imagine, a package of food, or seeing something in the water. Like, how you see it in the movies when they're out at sea for so long without water, without any food, and they're deprived of everything, and they start hallucinating. And I don't know why, but that scenario came to my mind, and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually seeing things and hearing things that are not real. And this is a side effect of having a sugar crash that nobody has ever warned me about. And I don't know if it's because I've had diabetes for so long, like 20 years is a very long time, and it's wear and tear on your body. The longer you have diabetes, the more MOT and services you kind of need on it, that kind of thing. It's a very, very scary and real thing to be going through. And especially if you don't understand what's happening, it's hard to accept it, and it's hard to understand that, oh, okay, this is what's happening. Just the same way now I know if I feel sick, if I'm sweating, if I lose control of my limbs, which has happened, or I'm trembling. The same way I recognize those lows, I need to find a way to recognize when I hallucinate that it's just a hallucination. It's very easy to say that, oh, just recognize that it's another low symptom. But when it's happening to you at that moment in time, I don't know how I'm gonna overcome this kind of symptom and what my coping mechanism is going to be. I wanted to put that out there and kind of speak about the symptoms that people don't warn you about. There's things like feeling sick, the blurry vision, excessive sweating, the confusion, the dizziness, the headaches, the shakes. These are symptoms that people talk about. But there are some symptoms that people, doctors, even diabetics don't understand and don't speak about it. If you're experiencing something like this, first of all, I'm really sorry. It is super scary, at least for me. When I have episodes of hallucinations during a sugar crash, every single time, and I've had 4, after I come back to reality and I'm kind of understanding what has happened, I cry, like bawling my eyes out. For the next 2 days, I'm still like, I'm pretty sure what I saw, what I felt, and what I heard was real. Like, I am sure that was real. So it's hard to comprehend that what you thought was happening wasn't actually the reality. And it's a very emotional and overwhelming sense of emotion. And it's very difficult to deal with. And I'm still going through that and trying to figure it all out. But since we're on the subject of the symptoms you can have when you're having a sugar crash, I'm just gonna run down the list of all the things I had experienced. And if you experience any of these, then again, you're not alone. I say try not to be scared, but I am petrified myself of having hallucinations. I'm hoping to kind of make more videos to bring awareness to the realities of having diabetes and what that can look like when you've had diabetes for a long time. It's very much wear and tear. The longer you have diabetes, the worse the symptoms are, the harder your body can cope with it. It's just like, it's too much of a toll on your body to kind of deal with these ups and downs and all the things that diabetes bring, It's hard. Anyway, I've written down some things, so I'm just going to run through them. And if you guys have any more questions, just comment down below and we can kind of make more in detail videos about each point if you're interested. And I'm out of breath, okay? Number 1, feeling sick. Number 2, blurred vision. And also feeling sick for me is generally when I get like really big drops. So if I go from 18 to like 3 or 2, having such a big drop is what makes me feel very, very sick, because the body can't handle such a big swing in numbers. And the blood vision is why they tell you to always check your blood sugars before you go to drive, because this can happen like that. So it's very, very dangerous. Number 3, excessive sweating. Pretty sure we all experience that. Confusion and disorientation, dizziness and lightheaded, trembling and shakiness, feeling extremely tired, heart palpitations, which I'm kind of experiencing right now, to be honest. Numbness and tingling, that can be in your mouth, in your lips, on your legs. I've had that so many times and it's so weird. Unexpected crying or emotional responses. That's me after my hallucinations. Loss of limb function and muscle spasms. People don't talk about that, but it's something that I started to experience maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. For example, I'd be there preparing my lunch, chopping my onion, and my hands would just go. They would kind of like twitch, or I would drop things, or my legs would buckle. And I don't understand what's happening until I understand what's happening. I'm like, it takes me a few buckles and a few drops to understand, oh yeah, this is one of those symptoms. Moving on, where am I at? The last one was the hallucinations, which we just spoke about. So those are some of the symptoms that you can watch out for, whether you have diabetes yourself, if you have a loved one, child, a partner, a friend, co-worker. If you see any of these symptoms, it's kind of helpful because you might end up saving someone's life. Diabetes can be very dangerous, so knowing the symptoms to watch out for is very, very important. If you guys want to discuss or have any questions about the symptoms that you may be having and I haven't mentioned, then feel free to comment down below. And if you check out my bio or the description in this video, you might also find the tips very, very helpful. Again, these are things that nobody has ever told me and things I did not get warned about or told that could help my diabetes and how to deal with certain things. So if you're interested, check that in my bio. It's free, no spam. You don't have to worry. I hope you found that helpful. And if you know anybody with diabetes, then make sure you share this video, and who knows, maybe it can help save someone's life. And I'm going to try and finish this because it's so cold. Oh, that's really gross.